Good morning, Stampers. It is Elizabeth, and it is Saturday, January 13th at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, and I am kicking off the Global Inspiration Stamp team for Saturday, and we are happy to have you here. I'm going to give you a warning, a heads up, that we have extreme winds today. So keeping my fingers crossed that there's no issues. I was watching back some of the videos from yesterday, and I don't know if it was my internet connection or not, but it wasn't great playback. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed. So no, if I disappear, that is why. We had a dumping of snow yesterday, and I got up this morning at 6 a.m. because all of the snow that we got yesterday has started to melt, and it's really heavy snow. Thankfully, a neighbor came out to help me, and it's supposed to freeze tonight. So I wanted to get all of the snow shoveled off. So that was my chore this morning. I don't know about anybody else. I'm just checking here to see that I am in the right spot. And I am there. I see a couple of people on me. Hello, hola, hello everybody. And thanks for joining me today. I've started watching, as I said, presentations from yesterday. And so far, once the internet connection is back and more stable, I will go and finish watching them. But I'm loving some of the projects. So I hope you are as well and you are inspired. Today, I'm going to be playing with the Hills of Tuscany, which, you know, it's one of those love or hate stamp sets, but I love it, and it pairs well with, I call them standalone stamp sets, so that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to pair it with the deckled rectangles from the annual catalog. So the Hills of Tuscany are one of those, I guess, what do they call them, two-step stamp sets, or multiple, it's a builder stamp set, that's what I want to say. It's a builder stamp set, and you got to let your imagination run a little wild. But the card I am making today, I am using every image from the stamp except for this large one. And obviously I'm not going to be using all of the sentiments, but I'll use every stamp to create the card. And then when we're done, I'm going to show you an alternate card that I made, and I posted a picture on the blog. Good morning, hello. Oh, it's from Vicky from Guelph. I did the same as you, and I also got a good fairly finish my driveway. Thank God for neighbors, Vicky, because I'm telling you, one of my neighbors went out and shoveled last night, so I didn't have to do it. But then I got up this morning and I went, okay, there's still a layer, and it's just slush, and it's supposed to freeze, and it's going to be a skating rink, but thankful for good neighbors. Yeah, so I'm going to show you an alternate project. I actually posted a picture of it, and it's going to be using this large stamp set up here. So, you know, I say all the time, my goal is to try and use every stamp that I have that's in that package. And hello, Virginia. We're also crazy wind today. Yeah. The world is going crazy, folks. That's all I'm going to say. The world is going crazy. Okay, so, and I'm going to be using colors that I don't normally love, folks. I'm going to tell you. Wild Wheat was not my favorite color, but in the Celebration, so I'm going to incorporate Celebration paper into my card. One of the Celebration papers has Wild Wheat in it, and I love it. So that might become one of my new favorite colors. So let's get overhead. I'm going to show you components, and then I'm going to show you the card, and then we're going to walk through how to do it. Alrighty, so let's show you here. So here's the Hills of Tuscany, and we've got all of these builder kind of stamps. Like I said, in the card I'm going to do today, I'm using every one of them except for this one, but I'll show you an alternate using this one. And obviously I'm not using every sentiment. So that's the Hills of Tuscany. We are also going to be using the deckled rectangle dies. So together, my math is terrible, these come up to, in Canada, folks, I'm in Canada, come up to $74. So in Canada, the threshold for Celebration level 1 is $60. So this will get you there. And this is the designer series paper. So, it's called Softly Stippled. It's one of my favorite sets in Celebration. Celebration has some great designer series papers in it, by the way. Calypso Coral, Lost Lagoon, Pebbled Path, Pool Party, and Wild Wheat. those are the colors. And I'm just going to quickly show you some of the papers. We're going to be using this paper. And when I saw the Hills of Tuscany, it reminded me of, okay, I'm not an artiste. I'm sorry, I'm showing you that twice. Sorry, ignore that one. I'm not a artist by any means, or am familiar with art. But when I saw the Hills of Tuscany, I thought of some painting that was in the Louvre. Don't ask me why, but that's what came to my mind. So here's the deckled rectangles right here in the annual catalog. And throw that on the floor. And here is the Hills of Tuscany. This is a stamp set I think you need dies with. You need to bring in the standalone dies. I tried making something, just a picture, and I embossed this in gold and I popped it up and it didn't look great. So I think you definitely need dies with this. And so this is the card that we're going to be making. And can you see where my mind went to about standing in the Louvre and looking at painting on the walls? Don't ask me where that came from. So this is the Wild Wheat, and Pebbled Path is my new favorite color in the annual catalog. I have to tell you, I love it. It's such a neutral color. And then on the inside, that's where we used the rest of the dyes. And I know I love Lost Lagoon for hills, guys. I know I could use a green, but I just wanted to bring in Lost Lagoon. I just think it pairs really well. And we're going to be doing some stamping off here too, so we have varying colors. But that's the card. And then just a little bit of hello. And then we are going to incorporate the faux trim and in this card as well. All right, so let's get started. Oh, and here is the Designer Series paper, the softly stippled Designer Series paper, free with a $60 purchase. All right. Oh, and I have not got a new chair yet, so it's still squeaking. I apologize. Every time I turn around, my chair squeaks. I do have WD-40, but just haven't used it yet. So we're going to use Pebbled Path, and it is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And another color I don't use a lot of, guys, is the Very Vanilla. Who else doesn't use, hello from the UK, who else doesn't use Very Vanilla very often? I don't. I rarely use it. And then just the two 5 1/4 by 4 for the outside, and then 5 by 3 3/4. No, sorry, let me back up. 5 1/4 by 4 for the inside, and then for the outside, it is 5 by 3 3/4. And the reason why I'm using this as a layer, you don't have to, but because we are popping up this layer, I wanted the Designer Series paper to have a little bit of stability, so a little bit of extra oomph. You do not have to do that. You can just cut the Designer Series paper, which I already did. You can cut it and it's at the same 5 by 3 3/4. There's a definite up and down to this, so make sure you've got it going in the right. So I am going to adhere these one on top of another, and because I'm layering them up, if you don't get them layered up exactly, you know, you can go and trim it down with your trimmer. It doesn't have to be exact. But I'm going to add my Tombow glue here. I usually use the Stampin' Seal Plus, but this just will give me some wiggle room. And if you're curious, yes, I did prime my Tombow glue before I started the video. And I'm just going to try and be lazy and not have to trim it down extra. There we go. All right. Okie dokie. And there is that. Now I'm going to take my deckled rectangles, and I have to make sure I've got the right one. Yes. So the third smallest one. And I do have my stamp and cut and emboss machine. Good morning, Facebook user. Hello to you. I hope everyone had a really good holiday. Oops, I gotta turn it around. And you had a lot of time to rest, relax, spend time with your loved ones. I have to tell you, I am happy when the holidays are over though, and to get back. I'm a routine kind of girl. If I don't have a routine, I can wallow in nothing. I don't know if anybody else is like that. All right. Do I have the right size? I do have the right size, yeah. So I'm going to keep this down into the bottom right-hand corner. Anyone else a routine? Anyone else needs a routine, or am I the only one that needs a routine? The fear of retiring is real, and not just it's a stage in life, but what on earth am I going to do when I retire? I definitely need a routine. I need a purpose. I need a reason to get up in the morning. It's yeah. So this cuts through the 2 layers really easily. It cuts really easily. Now don't throw that away, because I did have an idea which I hadn't pulled together yet, but you could create another card and you could pop it up here like that and put like a sentiment. And I'm going to make another card, and I might post it in this video thread. When I'm done, I'm going to make another card because I have an idea. So don't throw that away. That's going to come in very handy. All right, now let's get my piece of very vanilla, and this is 4 by 2.5, and I wanted it just large enough to go underneath that. And I've got a scrap piece of paper here, and I'm going to bring that out. So I'm going to bring this as reference. I don't know if you guys can see that. Colors that we're going to be using are Lost Lagoon, Basic Gray, Copper Clay, and Daffodil Delight. I didn't in this one, but I am going to bring in the Sunshine. Oh, and Mossy Meadow. And Mossy Meadow, I'm using a Stampin' Spot because I have an order in to get a new Mossy Meadow stamp pad because my other one not looking too good. Okay, so I'm going to start with the base, and I'm going to start with the largest stamp and the Lost Lagoon. And this one I am actually going to stamp off because I don't want it really dark. That's why I've got this. I've got a nice clean sheet of scrap paper here, and I want to try and keep it clean as long as possible. I don't know if anyone else is like that. And I am just going to put it on the bottom. Okay. That's one stamp used. Now I am going to break out. I have this stamp, and I have this stamp. Let me see. There. Oh, and I have this stamp. These are all, oh, sorry, this stamp. These are all sort of like builder stamps, right? So I want a little bit of depth on here. So I am going to angle that like here. There is no right, there is no wrong. And you see I'm not happy because I've got a little bit of white in there. Hey, no problem. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to cover it up like that, but I'm also going to put this along the top because I want to flatten it out a bit. And then this one is the last one, and I'm going to add a little hill down here. So you've got, that's all of those done. You can turn them upside down. Look what I did. I've got ink on there. So you're going to ignore that ink though. All right. Now that's the Lost Lagoon. No, Lost Lagoon, Lost Lagoon. Did I use Lost Lagoon up here? I might have. So now I'm going to take the cloud, and I'm stamping this off. Yeah. And I'm going to put a cloud up here. And oh, I must have ink on one of my hands. And I'm going to put a cloud like that. All right. This is looking, I don't know what I have ink on, but it's transferring onto the paper. Okay, so now I am going to take the sun. No, I'm going to do the building first. I'm going to do the building in Copper Clay. I'm hoping the building I can cover some of this up with the building. And I'm going to put this, no, it's not going to cover it up. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm talking to myself, just, where did I put that? I'm going to take this one. I'm going to put another hill right here, like that, and it's just so I can bring my building up a little bit to try and, there we go, cover that blob. There we go. Here's the hill, and you see it's it's floating in the sky, so I'm going to do another one. And I am going to stamp this off, and I'm just going to do another one like that, so that it's not floating in the sky. This is what you're trying to do when you're trying to cover up ink spots. And now I'm going to take the, you can't see it, the sort of pebbles, and I'm going to make a path like that. And now I've got the basic gray, and I'm going to do the roof. This one, you're going to see my roots a little bit, guys. I have to just get over here a bit. Like that. See, I covered up the blob that I made. And I'm going to put the sunshine right in here. Okay, so now I've got the three trees, and whatever I'm doing, I want to make sure that I'm within that frame, right? So I'm going to ink up my trees, and I'm going to put them like this. Now you'll see that one tree is blowing in the wind, and so I'm going to take, which one? I'm going to take one of the builders again, and I'm just going to put it like that so that it brings it out so that the tree isn't sitting in the wind. Oh my gosh, look at the mess. Look here, here, here. One of my blocks, something has ink all over it. We'll make it work. All right, so that will go like that. So even though it looked like a mishmash, other than this blob here. Okay, so there it is. And that is going to get popped up like that. So you have a really pretty scene like that. So let's adhere this together. I am just going to mark with a pencil. I'm going to mark with a pencil. It's actually a pen, but it's going to get covered over where I need to put this. So I need to fill it in that spot right there like that. And if I should, oh, there's ink all over everything. Oh my, who was it that I was watching earlier? Was it Joy? And she said she must be having fun because she's got inky fingers. I'm having a lot of fun. Like that. And so this is going to get popped up. You need a lot of dimensionals on this. I am having fun. But I'll be honest with you that if it was I was doing it without being on video, I would have started all over again. I'm sure we're all like that. I would have started over again. But I will fix it when we're done. Hey Bev, can you cover it with some birds? You know, this one is too big. It goes right across. But you know what, Bev? That's a perfect idea. Cover it with some birds. I'm overkill with the dimensionals because I'm popping this up and I don't want it to sag. So especially around the edges. Okay. And this is like that. But you know, once it's all decorated, you're not even going to see the blob. Oh yes, you will see the blob. Okay, so that's the outside. That's the outside of the card. We're not done though. Now I'm going to do something similar with the inside and try and not get ink all over me. And this time I'm not stamping off. I'm going to take, well, I think I see what, I've got extra ink on the blocks here like that. So I'm going to take Lost Lagoon, in case I go off the edge, like that. And then the small one, this one, the smaller one, and just to take it off on the bottom like that. 2 hills. And now I'm going to take this, the stamp with 4 trees. 3 trees, 4 trees, and the mossy meadow. Like that. And I'm going to stamp that down like that. So that's that, and I'm going to put it aside. And now, the wrong card. And now I'm going to take, I have a piece of Very Vanilla. And what I've also die cut out is a second frame. And this second frame is using two of the deckled rectangles. It's using, I'm going to make sure I get the right one, the 3rd and 4th largest dies. Nope. The 3rd and the 4th and 5th largest dies. So the 4th and 5th. And let me just make sure I did this right. Yeah, the 4th and 5th. So you're going to nest them like that and put them through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and you will end up with this. I just had to confirm that was the right size. And it's going to frame, it's going to be a frame. And I think that's what finishes that card off and adds that extra bit of detail. As it is like this, it's like, eh. But when you add that bit of frame, it just adds that extra little detail. Like that. And I'm going to mount it on top like that. Oh, okay. Bev's online. Did that wind just come through to you, Bev? Did you just hear that wind? It's like, oh my gosh, I'm keeping fingers crossed that I don't lose shingles. Okay, and now I'm going to take Hello in basic gray. I know Bev lives around the corner from me, so she might have heard that wind go through. Yep. I was like, oh my gosh. Okay, Hello. And then did I do anything? I didn't do anything on the inside, but if you wanted to, wishing you peace, you're in my thoughts, I just can't thank you enough. So technically, if you wanted to put, I just can't thank you enough, want to make a thank you card, I'm going to leave it blank for future, but the only 2 that we haven't used are those 2 and then this one. So I like using up all the stamps in the set. And now I'm going to cut down the Hello a bit. I'm also going to trim it top and bottom so that it's a little bit more narrow. I'm freehanding it. And then just a little bit of forking up the center and then left and right and then up the center, left and right. Okay, and I have a piece of the faux suede trim, and there's some glimmer on there. Oh, my camera's not gonna and it's on both sides. Just pick a side that has most of it on. And I don't want it too long. Maybe, let me just, and I'm going to angle it. How long do I want it? Just so you know, maybe an inch and an 1/8 or something like that. And I wanted a little bit of extra detail, like that. So you can use Tombow glue, and it will adhere to the card. So I've got a blob of ink here. Oh, sorry, a blob of adhesive. And so I'm going to just put a thin bit of adhesive on here. It's going to stick over a little on the right, so if you didn't want to put adhesive on the very edge, that's okay. Okay, and it holds really well. I'm just going to take the adhesive off there. Okay. I've got a little bit of splaying here. And now we're going to adhere this on top like that so that you have a little, that's just that little bit of detail. And I'm going to cut some dimensional down, and I'm going to put it, so this is straddling. So it's going to straddle the ribbon so that it's not going to go anywhere. It's fiddly, guys, I know. Very, very fiddly. Just sticking to my hands. Like that. Now, if you have any questions, we've got lots of specials going on right now. And you'll see that straddles just over perfectly. We have lots of specials going on right now. Join now, shop now, lots of specials, free product. Talk to the demonstrator that invited you to the event, and they can answer any of your questions. And there's the card. Oh, and let me put the inside in now. Even that blob works. Even that blob works. And I'm going to put this on the inside, and then I will show you another card almost identical to this one, plus one that I posted the other day that's totally different, but again using the same paper, designer series paper. And that's the inside, and that is the outside with the really pretty seam. That's the original card. Which without the blob, just so you know. Then the first card I made before coming up with this pattern is this card. If you wanted to, you're in my thoughts, and I put the full piece of the suede down here at the bottom, and I actually did this so that, you know, when you see a picture, it's got like a name on the picture. So I thought, and I put it in there, you're in my thoughts. So that's another card identical to this one, but just doing the sentiment a little different. And then thinking so totally different, and this is using the Stylish Shape dies, this card. And that's why I said I think this stamp set really does need dies that go with it, because if you to build it flat, it makes it it looks very flat. So then this was another card, and again using the same designer series paper. I told you, wild weed, and then a little bit of the baker's twine, and then I just built the scene on here, did a little bit on here, and then here is where I used that large stamp. That's where I used that large stamp. So technically, I've used in these two cards, I've used every stamp except for these 3 sentiments, which easily could be, one could have been put in here and one could have been put in here. So my goal is to use every stamp that I can in a set to get more bang for my buck. Now, my next goal is to come up with other things that you can do with these. This could be maybe a body of water, or, you know, this one's a little harder, but, you know, maybe you can make it a body of water and have a little boat in here or something. I don't know, but you have to let your mind go crazy with this type of stamp set. All right, that is me, and it is a half-hour presentation. Yay, and I got it done, even though I have lots of blobs up in at that one card. So thanks everyone for joining me today, and next up is Katie. Katie is up next at the top of the hour, and go grab a cup of coffee, cup of tea, whatever your favorite is, and join Katie at top of the hour. All right, have a good one, everyone. Happy stamping. Bye.